What is good? What is good, people? What is good? You've seen the title, you've clicked on the video with this title. Let me just tell you, this is why I document this stuff. Hollywood doesn't write these kind of scripts. And that's why Hollywood's dead right now. Because reality is just to the point where you can't even go to a movie to get a better story than just average daily living right now. You cannot turn on any sort of media and get a better story than just average daily life currently around the world right now. You've taken in all the manosphere content, you've taken in all of the red pill, black pill, whatever pill you want to talk about, whatever name you want to give it. Like, I just call it just biological reality. You've taken in all of that content and you just see it over and over again, which is why honestly even going to school and learning about different type of shit, you don't get as interactive as an experience as just like living right now through daily life. So watch out for the sudden motherly instinct. Let's get to the script here. Watch out, guys, watch out. Don't fall for it. I've experienced it in college, graduate school, and now even in this business venture that I'm currently a part of. Watch out for that motherly instinct. The biological imperative for a female ape with children is to sequester resources. I repeat that. Sequester resources for her offspring at all costs. Whether this be money, food, people, etc. Note how this is different from the initial biological imperative. The initial female ape biological imperative, before the offspring comes about, which is to collect the highest quality seed available. That is the initial imperative. Collect the highest quality seed available. And then you move on to the next imperative once you've achieved the first imperative. Whether it's in school, in the workplace, or out elsewhere in the world, always understand these two biological imperatives, or as Rollo Tomasi puts it, the dual mating strategy. You've heard that before, the dual mating strategy. He hasn't written books on this stuff for no reason. He doesn't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers for no reason. Understand what he says when he says this type of stuff. A woman will put in the necessary work, be it in the workplace or in the bedroom, in order to hook in a sucker. Once that sucker is hooked in, that sucker is doing her bidding, whether he is aware of it or not. From an ape perspective, this means hunting for her, but this can take many different forms in today's modern society. And you see it all around you in today's modern society. Be acutely aware of this phenomenon. Given the gynocentric society we find ourselves in currently, it is especially important to understand these intersexual phenomena. Gynocentric means woman-centered. Women go to college more, women have more purchasing power, and women have the majority of control of reproduction in today's societal order. These are the underpinnings holding the woman-centered order together. So just be acutely aware of these biological imperatives, the dual mating strategy, and be aware of these underpinnings as well. Plan your goals and move with awareness. And keep your guard and your gloves up at all times. Like I told one commenter, you gotta keep your gloves up at all times here. Like, just given the landscape. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You gotta move accordingly. So, that's it for this video, guys. I may post another one today, but like, I'll just say one more thing. This is why I think if you want to have kids, or if you want to move in that family route, you gotta get a young woman. You can't do this, like, you can't, like, the single mother stuff. I just see time and time again, it just doesn't work. It doesn't matter the woman. Like, it just doesn't matter how smart she is. It doesn't matter, like, even how initially cooperative she is. That in the long run, that doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter whether she's the same ethnicity as you, whether she's from the same area of the world as you, like whether she even has certain worldviews that you do. It's just like all of that is like over the base biology layer. That base biology layer is just hard to ignore that. I'm not saying it can't be done, and I'm not saying it hasn't been done. I haven't seen it personally been done, but I'm not saying it can't be done or it hasn't been done. Like, it's just the odds are against you. I'm not saying don't do it. Like, I'm not saying don't do it. But if you do, just like come back and tell me the results. Tell me if it worked or not. Like, that's what I ask. Like, cause that's interesting. I've seen it happen a couple times where people have done it, and just tell me how it works out. But in my, like, my actions, like I said in the last video, I just tell you guys what I'm doing. If you like, share your stories with me, but I'm not going to tell you like what to do and what not to do. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing, and like in my path, it's gonna be, I do want the family. For me, it's gonna be a younger woman, like a young woman. That's just what I've learned in life thus far. And I'm still open to different paths. As I say, the numbers are gonna start working in our favor here. Like, just looking at how the numbers are going, the trends of what's going on, the numbers will start working in our favor. So when I say these things, understand that society, like, I don't want to say expecting, but I'm just looking at how society is changing. And it's not, like, some of the things I say might seem radical right now, but it's not going to seem, once I actually end up doing these things, you're going to say, oh, okay, well, that's not that normal. I might still be on the cutting edge of it a little bit, but it's not going to be like, oh man, like, that is completely like out of the norm. Because by the time I get around to doing it, it's not going to be completely out of the norm, and it's going to be the beginning of many people starting to kind of do that, if that makes sense. Obviously, you can't tell the future, but I do think that tomorrow's normalcy is reflected in today's trends. So we see like today's macro trends, we see what's normal today, and tomorrow I can see how it's gonna be shifting. Like we talked about amount of single people under 30 years old. We've talked about autism. We've talked about money printing. You talked about a lot of that stuff. So, like, we've talked about women in the workplace. Like, by this time, we understand it. Also notice how, like, the numbers of women in the workplace are going down. They're trying to blame everything on COVID. I'm telling you, you can't blame everything on COVID. If anything, COVID was a good cover. I tried to use COVID to, like, change my path of life. I hope you did too. COVID was a great cover while everything was just completely nutty and shitty. It still is, honestly. It still is, so there's still time. Like, COVID's the perfect time to just alter your life path. Whatever you were going on, just alter that shit. If you realize it was blue-pilled. If you realize it just simply wasn't what you wanted to do. Just even COVID's still happening right now. It's the perfect time to do so. So, like, I hope you guys just take advantage of that. I wouldn't be here on YouTube if it wasn't for COVID, honestly. So, like, COVID is not the It's not like the source behind all of these problems. Like, don't listen to any analyst or any lay person. Just don't listen to anybody that tells you that, because that's just false. That is false. A lot of this stuff was going on before COVID. A lot of it's going to be happening after COVID. So, like, you just put yourself in a position to take advantage of that shit and be aware of these biological imperatives. And alright, I'm out for now. I'll catch y'all later.